So it shouldn't surprise you at all that things are how they are today. The left has been working overtime since Trump announced his candidacy back in 2015 to squash the pro-family movement. Sure, they are lying openly at a rate like never before, but the objective remains the same: family and God out, government in. And where has that gotten us? Broken communities where it's a major risk for children to enjoy a silly little night where they get to dress up and eat some candy. Joining me now to weigh in is President of Citizens United, Dave Bossie. Dave, thanks for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me. That was a very, very good monologue. It's an important conversation for all Americans to have, to think about those issues that you brought up. I just can't, just sitting there listening to it, it's shocking. I brought one of my kids out, my youngest, my 10-year-old out last night. And, thankfully we had a nice time in our neighborhood, but I wasn't thinking about all those kids who couldn't do that.
That's right. Yeah. Go to like inner city Detroit and so many other places around the country. And by the way, let me just say, can I just tell you, happy birthday. Did I bury the lead? Happy birthday, Dave Bossie. I know it's your birthday. We stalk you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. But on to some more serious topics. On the topic of destroying our family-friendly communities, Virginia has been on a roll with that, of course, in Loudoun County. And you recently wrote an op-ed for Fox about the current governor's race in Virginia, McAuliffe versus Youngkin. And you state this, quote, Terry McAuliffe and the Biden administration are finding out the hard way that comparing concerned parents who attend school board meetings to ask inconvenient questions about their children's education, school closings, and mask wearing to domestic terrorists is tone deaf, arrogant, and dangerous. McAuliffe's clueless statement that he doesn't think parents should be involved in what schools are teaching their children could prove to be the catalyst for a great awakening in American education. It's a great point. It seems like the real positive takeaway here, regardless of who wins the race, is that parents are now aware of everything Democrats are doing that's anti-family.
And thank God they are. Look, this is a very important cultural moment in America. This is a culture war that we, conservative Americans, are on the winning side of. We can now defeat the teachers' unions. We have the power. The parents have the power back in their hands. Whether we win every single battle, not important. We need to fight every single battle. And now the parents, I think, have awoken an angry mama bear, and they are going to have to deal with these parents, moms and dads, who are seeing exactly what their children are being taught. Where you're sitting in your kitchen over the last year with online learning because of COVID, and you're now listening and you're seeing the curriculum, you're seeing the books. It's outrageous. And thank God in Texas, a month or two ago, they found those books that were just absolutely disgusting and immoral, and they were removed there, and then they became an issue in Virginia. And I believe that Glenn Youngkin is going to win partially because of that issue, and it will stop the Biden craziness, this socialist agenda that Joe Biden is pushing down our throats. Stop it dead in its tracks.
Yeah. So, Dave, just to be clear, this is the playbook, right, for 2022. And I hate to say playbook because this is serious stuff. This is culture war stuff. But Youngkin is, he can camp out in Loudoun County all day long, so to speak, or types of counties like that, and make this case, right? This is what it's all about. This is what Republicans need to point out.
Well, first of all, Joe Biden is a drag on Terry McAuliffe in a big way. Yeah. His disapproval numbers, his job approval number is at an historic low. It is dramatically lower. And by the way, just to remind everybody, Joe Biden won Virginia 1 year ago, almost to the day, by 10 points. Right. It wasn't even close, unlike a lot of states that were very close and they took the election. Virginia wasn't. And now 1 year later, to have Glenn Youngkin be able to win the governor's race because of Joe Biden's misery index. It's what I'm calling all of the crises, whether it's crime and defunding the police, whether it's the border crisis, whether it's hyperinflation that every American is feeling at the gas tank and at the grocery store, whether it is the Afghanistan crisis, you name the problem. Americans feel this malaise. We're going back to the words, to the jargon of Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, we are.
And Joe Biden and his people, that's the last thing they want.
No, you're absolutely right. And you mentioned Biden. Of course, a lot of what has been done to make our communities unsafe has been supported, as you've been saying, by Joe Biden. This new poll, and well, let me just show you this new poll. 71% of Americans say country headed in wrong direction. Even Chuck Todd is saying that's scary. Hey, if Chuck Todd is saying that's scary, Katie, bar the hatchet.
That's exactly right. Just one last thing on the police officers. Look, we are seeing county after county, state after state, firing cops, firing state troopers and county police officers and sheriff's deputies. Why? Because they won't get the vaccine, because of the vaccine mandate. And if you are part of the left and you are for the defund the police movement, okay, why are you going to make deals with the police officers to allow them to stay on the job? This is philosophically part of the same fight if you're on the left. And we have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, it all just kind of comes together. It's like this
really
one
does.
big, yeah, for sure. By the way, it seems like these poll numbers are further proof that America is waking up. I wonder if more people are thinking, hey, maybe Trump was right all along.
Well, David, the "miss me yet" by President Trump is
funny.
Something that everybody sees. You saw his ovation at the Braves stadium at the World Series a couple of nights ago. People are desperate for leadership because they see Joe Biden falling asleep at the G20 today. This is a problem, and it's going to continue to be a problem. But I got to tell you, if you're a member of the House as a Democrat in the House of Representatives or in the U.S. Senate, you have to be very careful because you are being forced to vote on something tomorrow, potentially in the House of Representatives, on the reconciliation bill, which is going to be another couple of $1 trillion thrown down the drain, which is going to impact our inflation rates even worse. But if you're one of those folks and Joe Biden is dragging the ticket and this is unpopular, you're going to worry about what happens in the Virginia election tomorrow. And you're going to wonder what the CBO score is, right?
Yep.
They don't have a CBO score.
That's right.
We don't know what it costs. Joe Biden is telling you it's zero. $2 trillion for zero. Well, guess what? That's all a lie. These people are liars, and that's all they're going to continue to be. But they're foisting the socialist agenda on us. We need to continue to fight, and that's why Virginia is such a big deal tomorrow.
No, for sure. And it's so funny. This is the hypocrisy of the left. They talk to their blue in the face about Trump lying about this, Trump lying about that. They are lying themselves, and yet they love to turn it around and do exactly this, Dave.
That's what they do. And you look at what President Trump gave the American people. You look at the robust economy for 4 years. You looked at safety and security at home and abroad. You look at the building the border wall. You look at supporting the men and women in blue, supporting our police departments versus what we have today. One crisis after another, one disaster after another. You look at all the problems Joe Biden has. He created them all in the last 10 months. He didn't inherit these problems. Presidents get elected to solve problems, not create them. And that's why in the midterms, we're going to devastate the Democrat Party, both in the House and in the Senate. We're going to end this travesty once and for all. And then President Trump can decide whether or not, after the midterms, whether he's going to run for president again. And I for one, believe that he would win overwhelmingly now, even over and above all of the corruption that goes on in these elections.
All right, that's one prediction. 10 seconds. Youngkin's going to win, you're saying. You're predicting Youngkin victory.
I think Youngkin wins. He gets between 52 and 53% of the vote. That's where I am on it, and I think he's going to win. And I think the Republicans win back the majority in the House.
All right, Dave Bossie, great to see you. Happy birthday. Really appreciate it, sir.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right, yeah, we are the birthday present to Dave Bossie to appear on the water cooler. It doesn't get any better than that. And he's right, by the way. Great monologue. Not written by me, Anna Perez. Hosts on Friday. Back in a moment.